You are 15, a second-hand laptop, a Try Hack Me tab, open at 1 a.m. You are trying to get a root shell on a practice box and the exploit is not working and you don't know why. You read the walkthrough twice. You do not understand the walkthrough. You read it a third time. At 1:42 a.m., something shifts. You run the exploit. The terminal gives you the thing every 15-year-old in this world wants on their screen, a pound sign, root access. You are inside a machine you are not supposed to be inside. You are not supposed to know what that feeling is, you know. You will spend the next 20 years either chasing it or deciding what it was. You tell your parents you want to study cybersecurity. Your mother Googles the salary data before she responds. The median is good. The ceiling is enormous. Your father asks if that's a real major. You say it is now. He nods. Level 1, the major. You're 18. Cybersecurity is a real major at your state school. The program is new. The faculty are part adjunct, part active practitioner. One professor does incident response consulting on the side and teaches Wednesday nights. You sign up for every class he teaches. First semester, networking fundamentals, operating systems, programming in Python. The material is familiar if you've been in CTFs since you were 14. The material is a foreign language if you haven't. Half the room drops by Thanksgiving. Sophomore year, the CTF team. Weekend competitions that start Friday at 5 p.m. and end Sunday at 5 a.m. Your team places 31st out of 400 in a national competition. You solve a web exploitation challenge at 3:14 a.m. that nobody on your team could crack. You feel the 15-year-old thing, smaller, and more professional, still there. Security plus at 19, CompTIA, CYSA plus at 20. You apply for internships, 14 applications, 2 interviews, 1 offer. Summer internship at a mid-sized MSSP, a managed security service provider. In the Midwest, $21 an hour. You shadow SOC analysts. You watch them watch alerts. You do not fully understand what you are watching. You ask your mentor on week 3 what the job is actually about. She turns her chair. She says, "The job is reading logs." She says it the way she might say the sky is blue. You write it down later. Graduation. $58,000 in student loans. You have your degree, 3 certs, a CTF portfolio, and a job offer at a different MSSP. Base salary, $64,000. The median CS grad in your graduating class makes $88,907. The median cyber grad makes less. You knew this going in. You did not go in for the money. You mostly think. Level 2, the tester. You're 22. SOC Analyst 1, Tier 1. You sit in a windowless room with 14 other analysts and a wall of screens that show the Splunk dashboard. Alerts come in. You triage them. Most are false positives. Some require investigation. A few are real, shift rotation, 3 on, 3 off, 12-hour shifts. Day shifts until your body adjusts, then night shifts, then back. Your sleep schedule is a line on a graph that never settles. You tell your partner this is temporary. You say it for 18 months. The work is reading logs. It is exactly the work your internship mentor described and you did not believe. You read logs. You look for the anomaly. You escalate to Tier 2 when you find something that isn't normal. Most days, nothing is abnormal in a way that matters. Some days are the ones you don't forget. Month 11. A ransomware incident at a client. Not your detection. Tier 2 caught it. You were on the incident response team because you were on shift. You worked 31 hours straight. Your senior analyst walked you through the containment. You isolated affected hosts. You preserved evidence. You wrote the timeline that ended up in the legal report. The client survived. The client's CISO sent a thank you email to your director. Your name was not in the email. Your work was in the timeline. The timeline was in the report. The report was the deliverable. You understand the chain now. The 15-year-old feeling was on the offensive side. The root shell. The thing you weren't supposed to have. This job is the opposite of that. You are on defense. The feeling of defense is different. You are not sure what it is yet. You will spend years naming it. You apply to a Big 4 consulting firm in month 14, cybersecurity consulting. $92,000. Travel 4 days a week. You interview well. They offer. You think about it for 9 days. You don't take it. You stay. Level 3, the engineer. You're 26. Security engineer. $105,000. A tech company that is not FA-ing. You moved into the blue team engineering track. Building detections, tuning the SIEM. Writing the playbooks that Tier 1 analysts execute against. You have moved from reading the alerts to writing the alerts. You are good at this. You think about attackers the way someone who has been inside a practice box at 1:42 a.m. thinks about attackers. You can look at a log stream and see what a threat actor would do next. Nice because at 15 you were that threat actor in a virtualized sandbox, and the muscle memory didn't disappear. It just got repurposed. You ship a detection that catches a credential stuffing attack 3 weeks after deployment. The attack would have been successful against your company. You prevented something that would have cost the company $3 million in breach response and a year of regulatory scrutiny. You wrote the detection. You own the save. Nobody outside your team knows your name. The company's security metrics improved. The board sees the improvement in a quarterly report. The CISO presents the metric. You are a line item in a footnote. This is how defense works. This is also the thing nobody tells you at 15 about the job. A pen testing firm reaches out. Red Team Consulting. $130,000 plus bonuses. You would be on the offensive side again. The 15-year-old feeling. The real version, not the defender version. Full-time, sanctioned, paid. You fly out. You interview. You do a technical assessment that is the hardest thing you've done in your career, and you pass it. They offer. You think about it for 2 weeks. You don't take it. You stay. You tell yourself, the reason is stability, insurance for your partner, the vesting that kicks in next year. All of these are true. You don't examine which of them is actually the reason. Level 4, the senior, you're 30, senior security engineer, $148,000. You lead a team of 3. You own the detection engineering function for the company's cloud infrastructure, AWS primarily, with some Azure for the legacy acquisitions. The job is mostly meetings now. Every quarterly business reviews with product, risk reviews with legal, compliance audits for SOC 2 Type 2, budget approval conversations for the tools you actually need. You are in your IDE 1 day a week, maybe. You are very good at a thing that is no longer the thing you're good at. You are good at explaining security risk to people who are not security engineers. You are good at translating a threat model into a business case. You are good at telling a product manager that the feature he wants to ship will expose customer PII in a way the feature's marketing copy does not acknowledge, and at getting him to agree to ship it the other way, without him feeling like you blocked him. This is real. It is valuable. It is also not the 1:42 a.m. moment. You would not have recognized this job at 15. The AI thing is happening. Your team uses Copilot for 40% of their detection code. The attackers are using AI too. Phishing emails that pass every filter, synthetic audio for vishing campaigns, code generation for polymorphic malware. You are in the middle of an arms race that both sides are automating. Your job increasingly is to review what the AI wrote and catch what it missed. You are not sure how long that is a job. A startup recruiter emails you about a director of security role, Series B, FinTech. $175,000 plus 0.3% equity. You would build the security program from the ground up. You would also own the outcome if a breach happened to a company that cannot absorb a breach. You interview. You like the team. You go home. You think about it. Your partner asks what you're weighing. You decline. Level 5, the architect. You're 35. Principal security engineer, security architect, depending on the org chart. $190,000 base, $40,000 bonus. Equity that's finally worth something. Total comp near $250,000. You shape programs now. You sit in architecture reviews for new products. And the product team brings the design to you before it's finalized. Because they learned 3 incidents ago that bringing it to you after is more expensive than bringing it to you before. Your opinion moves companies. You know this. You also know that your opinion moving a company is a different feeling from a root shell at 1:42 a.m. You have a partner, a daughter. She is 4. You leave work at 5:30 most days because your partner has established that this is the rule, and the company has learned to work around it, because losing you to a different company would cost them more than the hour. You are in the office fewer hours than you were at 22, and you produce more value per hour than the 22-year-old version of you could understand. This is the rational career outcome, and it is good. It is also not the feeling. You read about a breach in the news, a company you know, a CISO you have had drinks with. The attack vector is one you anticipated in a memo 3 years ago at a different company, and never published because you never finished it. You could have. The company in the news still would have had the breach because the memo was at your old job, and they wouldn't have seen it. You carry the counterfactual anyway. It sits with you on a Sunday afternoon and doesn't leave. You don't play CTFs anymore. You haven't in 3 years. You remember being that version of yourself. You are not sure you still are. The friend who became a pen tester, the one who took the offer at level 3, is now running his own consulting firm. He bills $500 an hour. He works with governments and intelligence agencies. He is in Estonia this week, Tokyo next week. You see his LinkedIn updates and you feel something that is not clean enough to name. Level 6, the CISO. You're 42, Chief Information Security Officer. A Fortune 500 company, base $340,000. Bonus, $180,000 last year. Equity that vests on a schedule that will make you wealthy if nothing catastrophic happens on your watch, which is the only condition you cannot guarantee. Your calendar has 18 recurring meetings a week. You have a staff of 140. You do not know all of them by name. You know the tier of your direct reports. They know everyone else. You present to the board once a quarter. Last quarter, the chairman asked a question that every board asks every CISO at every public company in America. Is the company safe? You said yes. What you said next specifically was, the company's security posture has improved year over year. Our detection and response times are best in class, and we have no evidence of any current unauthorized access to our critical systems. That is what you said. The word probably never left your mouth because probably is not a word a CISO says to a board. The honest answer is probably. The honest answer is always probably. A 204-day average detection time means that any adversary currently inside your network has, on average, 204 days before you find them. You know this. The board knows you know this. The question and the answer are both ceremonial, and neither of them can be anything else. And you carry it anyway. You go home, you eat dinner with your family. Your daughter is 11. She knows you work with computers. She knows you are important at your company. She does not know what you do. You have tried to explain it. You have not found the version that makes sense to an 11-year-old. You could retire early. The equity has vested enough. Your partner has asked about it twice. You have not given a direct answer either time. You don't play CTFs. You haven't for 5 years. You tried once last summer on a flight to Amsterdam. You got through the first 2 challenges. The third was web exploitation. You read the prompt. You stared at it for 40 minutes. You closed the laptop. You are not sure if the stare was because the problem was too hard or because you didn't remember how to want it anymore. You suspect the second. You don't put the suspicion into words because putting it into words would require admitting something that is not useful to admit at 42 when you have a daughter and a mortgage and a board meeting Thursday. You're purposeful. You're respected. You're paid to worry about a question that has no honest answer. You're not sure if those 3 facts are the same fact or 3 different facts. You open the laptop. There is a security review Monday. There is always a security review Monday. The cycle. Right now, somewhere, a 15-year-old is on a Try Hack Me box at 1 a.m. The exploit is not working. They read the walkthrough. They don't understand it. They read it again. The terminal gives them the pound sign. They feel the thing they are not supposed to know the word for. They know it. They tell their parents they want to study cybersecurity. The median salary looks good. The ceiling looks enormous. The father asks if that's a real major. The mother has already started researching boot camps as a backup. The 15-year-old does not know about the windowless SOC room, or the 3-on 3-off shift rotation, or the 31-hour incident response the night a client got hit with ransomware. They do not know about the pen test offer they will decline at 26, the startup CTO role they will decline at 30, the memo they won't finish at 35 that they will think about on a Sunday afternoon at 39. They do not know that, at 42, they will sit in a boardroom in a Fortune 500, and the chairman will ask if the company is safe. They do not know that they will say yes, and that the honest word for what they mean is probably. Oh, and that probably is not a word a CISO says to a board. They do not know that the feeling at 1:42 a.m., the root shell, the pound sign, the thing they were not supposed to have, is the feeling they will spend the next 27 years trying to feel again, on defense, in the opposite chair, in a job that is the honorable version of the 15-year-old's instinct and that will never feel quite like the 15-year-old's instinct did. They close the laptop. They set the alarm for school. They're ready. The machine doesn't care if they're ready. The machine just needs new analysts. The cycle continues.